Hi everyone, welcome to the day 9 of our 24-day series of Fabric. Today we are going to practice uh, SCD2 Type 2 pipeline using Notebook. So what we will be doing, we will use a CSV file and we will store it in our Lakehouse as files. And then we will use our Notebook and we will create a incremental logic using row hash method. So basically row hash is a unique ID. We will generate a row hash for that CSV file and we will load it back to the lakehouse hash table. And then we will do some changes in the initial file and then we will see is our incremental logic is working well or not. So let's start. First of all, what I have did, I have loaded the CSV file here. So you can see this is our CSV file and this is the data which we have. Okay. So we are going to use this file in our video. So first of all, I will go to my workspace, which is Fabric 24-day series. I will go to my bronze layer. Here in the notebook, I'll create a new notebook. Let's name it as SCD Type 2 in uh, pipeline or SCD Type 2 notebook using PySpark. Yeah, so we will be using PySpark in our this video. So here in the left hand side, you can see we have to add our data sources. So here in the Explorer, I will click on the add data item. I will select my existing data source, which is my Lakehouse. Now I will connect it. So this is our first part. We have added the data items here, our sources here. Let me just create markdown so that we can uh, write all the steps. So this is our step one. What we will do, we will import libraries, which we are going to use in this Fabric video. So this is our step one. So what we will be doing in our step one, we will import libraries and the we will define the path. So our library will be, so we have to import uh, PySpark dot spark session. So now how we have to write? We have to write from PySpark import Spark section. Okay. Then we have to add our uh, sorry, I think from Spark.SQL we have to import Spark session. Sorry. Then we have to import functions. So from PySpark.SQL, import functions. I'll alias it as F. One more thing I will import, which is delta table. So from delta.tables, I will import delta table. So these are the three things which we have to import. Then I'll create our path for the CSV file. So I'll name it as source underscore path. And here I have to keep my file path. So I'll go to the raw lakehouse, click on the file. So this is our file. We'll click on these three dots. We'll go to the properties, and here this is our file path. Okay. So this is fine. For target table also, I'll write a name. So target table underscore name, I want it as Tim underscore customer. I'll take. Let's run this. Now our step 2 will be what we have to do in step 2 is we have to read the source file, and we have to add the row hash. Okay. So let's first read our source file. So I'll read it in df underscore source. So I'll use spark dot read dot csv also we can use. So if we are using spark dot read dot csv, we have to provide the path. So our path is source underscore path. Then we have to write header equals to true, comma info schema equals to true. So info schema is for taking the same data type as the file is having. Okay. Let's see is it working or not. So I'll write df.show to check our we are able to read or not. Yeah, we are able to read. So this is fine. Now we'll create a row hash logic. So row hash is nothing, just it is a kind of GUID, and so what it will do, it will compare all the columns which we have to see for the changes, for the updates. Let's say in our case we have to check name and city and state. These are the three columns which we have to consider. If there is any change in name, city or state, we have to generate a unique key so that we can match it with our destination for the for checking any changes or not. So first of all, we are creating a full load pipeline. It will load full data to a new dimension table, and then for the second load, it will check for changes or it will check for the new items. Okay. So how we have to create? First, we will define the column. So I'll create a list. So first column name is name. Then we have city. Then we have state. So these are the three columns which we have to provide for the row hash. Now we will be using the with column function in PySpark. So I will write df source equals to df source dot with column. So using with column, we can add a new column. So I'll provide the column name. Column name is row hash, and I will use f dot sha2. So I will use sha2. Sha2 is a function you will be you can search it. So here you can see it returns the hex string result. Uh, it is from the sha2 family of hash functions, and yeah, it will create a hexadecimal code which will be unique. So what I have to do, I have to provide all my columns we have to consider. So I will write f dot. So I need to use another function as concat ws. So it will concat all the columns with these two pipes. Then comma, I have to use star for considering all the columns. F dot call. So I'll use a loop. So for c in column 2 has. So what it will do, it will concatenate all three columns and it will generate a unique ID. Okay. Now here I need to provide the bit, how many bit it will be. So 256 bit file I need. So it's fine. It's uh yeah, the logic is fine. So let's now check, to be generating our row has or not. So what we will do, I will use display function so that it will display it as a proper table. So it is generating the row hash. So you have to write the keyword like this only. See, we have a table view and here we can see it has generated a row hash for each of the rows. Now let's create our third step. So our third step will be, now we have to initialize target table. So how we will initialize it? First, we will check, do we have a target table with the same name or not? If it is there, then it will not create. If it is not there, then it will create. So that kind of code I have to write. So what I will write, if not spark dot catalog dot table exists, then I have to provide my target table name which we have kept. So if it not exists, then we have to write df underscore source. So we have to add some columns. If it is not existing there, so we have to add some columns. So the columns like is current, start date, then we have to, yeah, start date and end date. These two columns we have to add. Okay. So start date and end date for that particular row which we are going to expire. Okay. So first column will be is current. So I'll write is current. Then is current will be every values I need it as a true. For the initial values, every value I need it as a true. Okay. Then with column, the next which we have to add is start date. And start date, we have to keep it as current timestamps. So whenever we will load, it will load the current timestamp as a start date. Then we will add the end date. So for end date, what we have to do, as of now, we will keep it as none, means null, and we will keep the data type as timestamp. But for later run, we will add the logic later in the merge statement. Now what we have to do, we have to write it as table, because if it is not there, if it is not present, so we should create a table. So I will write it as delta table. So I've written dot write dot format as delta. Now I will use save as table option. So we have save as table function, and the table name which I want it as target table name. Okay. Fine. Till here it is fine. So if there is a no table, then what it will do? It will create a new table. So if it is creating any new table, so what it will write? Target table. created. Otherwise, so we'll use else. It will print. Target table exists. So we can write target table exists already. Okay. So let's see, do we have any indent error or not? So I can see there is an indent error. Let's run this. Let's see. Yeah, fine. So let's run this and let's see. Do we have that target table or is it creating a new target table? So now we will see any one of this message. It is taking time, so it means it is creating. Yeah. So see, target table is created. Now we have to do the step 4. Step 4 is yeah. So what we will do, we will load target table. So we will load data in our target table and the records will be active for the first load. So we have to load the active records. Okay. So we will create a df underscore target and then we will use spark dot table and our target table name is target table name. Then we'll use filter. So we'll use is current equals to true. Let's display our result. So here we have loaded all the records in our target table and all the true records we are seeing here, like all the active records. Now let's create our logic for the changed or updated record. So this will be our step 5. Detect new or changed record. So we'll create a df joint. So what we will do, we will join our current df source with df target and then we will see is there any change record using our row hash. So we'll create df joint equals to df underscore source dot alias. We'll keep it as SRC. Let's keep it as SRC, means source. And we will join it. So join it with df underscore target. Target also we will alias it as TGT. Let's keep it as TGT. Now the condition which we want it as, so on customer ID. We will be joining it on customer ID. And the join type will be, let's keep it as left join, because first it will check any additional records are there or not in the source. Okay. Now let's find out if there is any change records or not. So we will create another data frame as df changed. So we'll use our df join and we'll filter uh, only those records where row has is changed. So what we have to do, we will use app.call. First we will check if there is any nulls in the customer ID. So column, so in the target customer ID. So I'll write target tgt dot customer ID dot is null. So because if it is null, then only we have to consider the previous records, like the existing records. F dot column, we have to select source dot row has, and the condition should be not equals to app dot call tgt dot row has. So if there is any change in source for that particular target, like in the name or that any of the columns, so the row has will change. We have to select only those records. So right select src dot star. Okay, that's fine. I think it's fine till here. Let's see the change records, but as of now there will be no change because we have just loaded the table. So no data available because there is no such changes as of now. Okay. Now let's do our last step, which will be like we will be performing the SCD type 2 logic. So this is our step 6, where we are performing SCD2 logic. Okay. So here first we will load delta table. Delta table dot for name Spark, and table will be target table name. Okay. Then we have to mark our old records as inactive. Okay. So how we will be doing? We will use our target table and we will merge it with source and we'll change if there is any changes, so we will mark the old record as false. Or so let's write delta table dot alias. So alias is at target. Then we'll use merge, and here we will use our changed df, and we'll name it as source as of now. So alias will be src, comma, we have to provide the condition. So pgt dot customer id so equals to src dot customer id, and target dot is current should be true. That's our condition. Dot we will use when matched. So when matched, we have to update. So what we have to do, we have to set, and what we have to set is current as, what we have to set is current as false. Okay. And for the end date, as we discussed, for the end date, what we have to do, we will add the current timestamp when it is going to expire. So we will add it as current timestamp. Okay. So we'll write dot execute. Okay. So yeah, I think, yeah, that's fine. So this is for the update. Let's do for insert. So for insert new records, what we'll do, we have to create df underscore new underscore records on new data frame. And just a second. Yeah. So we can do it as df change alias is at source. Oh, sorry. So df dot change, we can write with column, and here just we have to add that is current, and here is current will be true. And another column which will be with column start date, we have to add that value also will be f dot let current timestamp. Oh, sorry, f dot current timestamp we can write. Yeah. And end date will be none. End date we can keep it as f dot let none. Fine. And here we have to cast it as timestamp. So that cast it as timestamp. Okay, fine. Now let's see df underscore new records. So we have to write it as append, write dot format. Format will be again delta, and the mode will be append dot mode. So mode we have to write it as append. And again we will use the save as table, and the table name will be target table name. So what we can print? We can print merge completed with new and change records. Fine. Let's run this. Some issue we have. Okay. Argument call should be a column. Just a second. Yeah, it ran. Now let's validate the final dimension table. So here we can do validate the final dim table. Just we have to write df underscore final and spark dot table, that will be target table dot order by customer ID and start date. Customer ID, comma start date. You can display this. So as of now, we will see the complete table with, because it is what we have loaded the full load. We haven't did any changes in the data set. So how we can see our pipeline is working well or not, our notebook is working well or not. So let's do one thing. We'll add 7. I'll name it as snow. I'll name it as Winterfell. KL, King's Landing. So just for fun, I'm doing this change, like adding a Game of Thrones character, and we will keep it as 11/11/2025. Okay, and let's do change as Houston here, Texas it is. So I'll do it as LA, Los Angeles, California. Okay, let me save this file. Yeah, saved. So what I'll do, I'll upload it back again in the files. I'll overwrite the old file. Okay, fine. Now let's again run each cell so that we can see the changes. So here in the source, we can see we have added the Bob as California and Snow as Winterfell from the city. Now let's run this target table initialization. Now we have we can see target table is already exists because we have created the target table in the first run. Now what it will show, it will show the active records only as of now. So these are the active records as of now in our target table, like the dimension table. Now this we will detect the changes. So here we have 3 changes. Actually, the file which I used, it is a new file. So here we can see John Dallas is from Texas, and here it is John is from Los Angeles. So we can see John is a change And again, Bob is a change and Snow is a new one. Okay. So here we are seeing new and changed both records. So let's perform the SCD2. So we will see this message. Yes, so merge completed with new and changed record inserted. Let's see our final table. So what we will be seeing, one record has expired, and here John one record is expired, another record is true. Again, in 7 previously there was Veshan. Now Veshan is not there, so it is also deleted, and one new record is added in place of Veshan, which is Snow here, which is added. So we have 3 false. Yeah, Bob is also changed. Bob Houston was changed to Bob California, so this is false. And we can see end dates also in these 3 records, which are flagged as false. So it means our incremental logic using SCD2 SCD type 2 using PySpark is working very well. So this is how you can create this small project, and you can upload it to your portfolio in the GitHub, and you can practice the SCD2 logic using PySpark. So we will learn some more transformations using PySpark. We will learn some more transformations using script and notebook, and Dataflow Gen 2 as well in our upcoming videos. So thanks everyone for joining this session. Yeah, please, if you like the video, please, if you think it is a very informative video, please like and subscribe to our channel, Database. Thank you. Bye bye.